Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWAS. We are into NFL Week 14. Got a cool one here. Bills on the road out in the West Coast to play LA. Let's do it.
Welcome to the SWAS. The SWAS. SWAS. Hey, get the SWAS.
All right, like I said, Bills are on the road in this one. Rams catching 4.5 points at home. I do see a couple fives out there. Total sitting at 49.5. I do see a couple 49s. So either 49.5 or 49, depending on your sports book. Let's take a quick look at the pie charts. And according to the data, as you probably would have guessed, action's coming in pretty heavily on the Buffalo side. Over 75% of the tickets, about 90% of the money. As I always say, take this data with a grain of salt. So let's get into this matchup. We'll start with the Bills offense against the Rams defense. Quick look at this graphic. It obviously looks like a very favorable matchup for Buffalo offensively. Although we do have to give the Rams some credit. They're definitely playing better defense as of late. But still, this is Josh Allen and the Bills offense. This is a tough matchup for any defense. On the season, the Bills are 8th in yards per play, 7th in success rate. On the season, the Rams defense 23rd in yards per play allowed, 24th in success rate. And if we're talking about the Rams defense playing better football as of late, we also have to mention that the Bills offense has been on an absolute warpath. In their last 7 games, they're averaging 30.4 points per game, 6.4 yards per play, almost 55% success rate. No one can seem to stop this Buffalo Bills offense right now. We know it's an offense that wants to run the ball, 7th in run frequency, and the Rams defense actually 30th in opponent run frequency. So the Bills want to run the ball, and Rams opponents have been running the ball on them all season. Not a great look there for LA. Quick look at this graphic here. It looks like the Bills offensive line should have the edge, but like I said, the Rams defensive front has definitely been better as of late. We'll talk about it in a second. But the Bills offensive line 2nd in adjusted line yards, 15th in run blocking grade, 14th in yards before contact. The Rams defensive line 24th, 16th, and 27th. Now, if we pull up the Rams game logs from their last 6 games, it kind of looks like the run defense might be starting to trend downward a little bit. In weeks 8 through 10, out of nowhere, this Rams defensive front was excellent against the run. 3.26 yards per carry allowed, success rate per rush under 29%, just 80.3 rushing yards allowed per game. That was against the Dolphins, the Seahawks, and the Vikings, so it's not like they played trash. Played some decent teams there. They were shutting the run down. In the 3 games since, 5.62 yards per carry, 194.7 rushing yards allowed per game. So you might look at this graphic and think, we can't trust the Rams run defense anymore. They're starting to trend in the wrong direction. And I get it, but the thing is that Eagles game, they ran for like 320 yards, kind of skewing these numbers. If you look at the Rams' last 5 games, well, it's actually the last 6 games minus the Philadelphia game, they have excellent numbers against the run. 3.77 yards per carry, 30.4% success rate per rush. So there was just one game where the Eagles ran the ball all over the Rams. Other than that, they've been playing great defense against the run for 5 straight games now. And this Bills rushing attack with James Cook, it's definitely good, but it's not nearly as efficient as the Eagles rushing attack with Saquon Barkley. So I don't think it's crazy to think this Rams defensive front at home is able to at least limit the Bills run game, which means we really need to take a look at the matchup for Josh Allen. Well, right off the bat here, we know the Rams secondary struggles against the deep pass. It's the weakness of this Rams team, has been for most of the season. Josh Allen does throw the deep ball. 13.5% of his pass attempts are considered deep passes, so not a great look there for the Rams defense. Just a 77.4 passer rating when throwing the deep passes, though, so there's something. But regardless, there should be some opportunities for Josh Allen to make some big throws down the field in this one. Now, what about the Rams pass rush? Because we know this is the strength of the team. They're 12th in blitz rate, 6th in pressure rate, 21st in adjusted sack rate. Here's the thing. We're looking at Josh Allen's numbers under pressure, and they look pretty good. 3rd in pressure to sack rate. He does not take sacks. 9th in yards per attempt, 8th in pass rating, 33rd in turnover-worthy play rate. So you might look at that and think, oh shit, Josh Allen's about to throw some picks in this game. Here's the thing. Josh Allen kind of fixed that. Early in the season, in weeks 1 through 6, he had a 9% turnover-worthy play rate. That was 32nd amongst qualified quarterbacks at that time. And we were all looking at his numbers. He only had, I believe, 1 or 2 interceptions at the time. And those of us that look at these numbers, we were all like, the interceptions are coming for Josh Allen. He's got a crazy turnover-worthy play rate. He's getting lucky. But here's the thing. Since week 7, Josh Allen is taking much better care of the football. 2.9% turnover-worthy play rate. That's actually top 10 in the NFL. So the whole Josh Allen crazy turnover-worthy play rate, the interceptions are coming. You've probably heard it if you watch NFL content on YouTube. I think that's kind of dead. he's been protecting the football lately. So as a whole, I'm not really worried about the Rams pass rush here. It's a good pass rush. They got a lot of really young talent there on the defensive front, but Josh Allen has excellent numbers under pressure. He's doing a much better job protecting the football. So I think he'll be fine. Rams pass rush does not scare me here. So next, why don't we take a look at the Rams coverages, see if it's a favorable matchup for Josh Allen. Rams run a pretty balanced offense, 10th in zone frequency, 7th in cover 3. So they run a decent amount of cover 3. Josh Allen actually slightly better numbers against man. 22nd in completion percentage, 10th in yards per attempt, 5th in passer rating against man coverage. Against zone, 24th, 20th, and 25th. So all right, there's something if you're looking to bet the Rams. They run a lot of zone coverage. Josh Allen, not the best numbers against zone coverage. What about specifically against cover 3, which is by far the most frequent coverage for the Rams? Josh Allen, not elite looking numbers here. 17th in completion percentage, 17th in yards per attempt, 23rd in passer rating. So another somewhat favorable angle for the Rams here. If you're looking to take the points with the Rams, you can point at the coverages. Not the greatest matchup for Josh Allen. He's actually struggled a little bit against cover 3. But is that enough for me to put my money on the Rams defense making stops against Josh Allen and the Bills offense? And honestly, I think the answer to that question would have to be no. There should be opportunities, like I said before, for Josh Allen to connect on some big plays. Maybe the Rams are able to limit the run a little bit, but as a whole, this offense is just too red hot right now. I expect Josh Allen to be able to make some throws. Maybe not an offensive explosion, maybe not the 34, 35-point performances we've been seeing, but I do think the Bills are going to connect on some big plays. But what about the matchup on the other side? Let's take a look at the matchup for the Rams offense. These two units looking pretty even on paper here. Rams offensively, 14th in yards per play, 6th in success rate. Bills defensively, 13th in yards per play allowed, 12th in success rate. So like I said, pretty even here on paper, maybe slight advantage for the Rams offense. And we do have to mention that the Rams are playing their best offensive football right now. The run game has finally arrived. Kyren Williams is finally here. In their last 3 games, over 120 rushing yards per game, 5.5 yards per carry, almost 51% success rate per rush. The run game has finally arrived for the Rams. We've been waiting for it all year. The offensive line was banged up for most of the season. Finally healthy. Kyren Williams finally running the ball. And that is not great news if you're a Bills fan. That plays directly into the weakness of this Bills defense. This graphic just shows the last 4 games, but this dates back to last season. The weakness of this Bills defense has always been stopping the run. On their last 4 games, 5.2 yards per carry allowed, 125.5 rushing yards allowed per game, 40.7% success rate per rush isn't bad, but no question, this is the weakness of the Bills defense, stopping the run. Now, to be fair to the Bills, we do have to mention that Matt Milano is back. He came back last week against the 49ers. I feel like I haven't seen Matt Milano play in years, but he is finally back. He was back last week against the 49ers, so maybe having a healthy Matt Milano back on the field helps with the Bills' run defense, but still, the way the Rams have been running the football these last 3 games, I have to think they're going to be able to run it a little bit. This run game with a healthy offensive line looks pretty damn good. So that brings us to Matt Stafford. I do think he's going to have a little run support, like I said. Do we like the matchup for Matt Stafford? And I got to say, I like this graphic right here. Buffalo sits back in coverage a lot, kind of similar to Green Bay. They will give you the underneath throws. The reason I like that for Matt Stafford is he loves taking those underneath throws. 50.1% of Matt Stafford's pass attempts are considered short passes. That's an A+, meaning towards the top of the NFL in frequency. He loves throwing those underneath throws. The Bills defense will give you those all day. So are we possibly looking at a dink and dunk fest here from the Rams offense? So let's take a look at the Bills coverage. They're 7th in zone frequency. They're kind of balanced. Run a lot of cover 4, a lot of cover 6, a lot of cover 3, a lot of cover 2. They pretty much spread it out. They do run a ton of 2 high safety looks though. 7th in zone frequency, 4th in 2 high safety frequency. So how does Stafford match up against those coverages? Well, good news for the Rams, he's been better against zone coverage, and it actually plays into the type of football we expect to see here from the Rams. Check this out. Completion percentage against man, 26th. Against zone coverage, 6th. But yards per attempt is actually better against man coverage, meaning when he sees man coverage, he connects on some bigger plays. When he sees zone coverage, he tends to take more of those underneath throws. Yards per attempt is worse, but completion percentage and passer rating is better. So this even further confirms my suspicion that we're going to see a dink and dunk fest here from the Rams offense. And look at Stafford's numbers against 2 high safeties. Same thing. Completion percentage way better. Yards per attempt is the same, so less big plays more completions, higher passer rating. So like I said, I keep saying this, dink and dunk fest here from Stafford against the Bills defense, and he should have some success with it. Now, obviously, we need to answer this question right here. Is Matt Stafford healthy? Because if Matt Stafford's not playing in this game, then pretty much throw out everything I've been talking about for the last 90 seconds. None of it applies. From what I'm reading, he's fine. I mean, he's listed on the injury report. He's listed as questionable, but from what I'm reading, he's not in danger of not playing. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, I'm recording this on Tuesday night. I'm recording this early. So hopefully by the time you're watching this, everything's good to go with Matt Stafford. I think he's going to play. And if he plays, I mean, like I said before, the Rams are playing their best offensive football right now. In the last 3 games, over 240 passing yards per game. Now, the yards per game is the same in the first 9 games, but look at yards per attempt. 7 in the first 9 games, 8.3 in the last 3 games. Passer rating in the first 9 games, 87, 119 in the last 3 games. So not only have the Rams seemed to have found their run game in the last 3 games, but passing attack looks a lot more efficient as well. So if Stafford is 100% healthy, I think he's going to connect on a ton of underneath throws, and I think the Rams are going to be able to sustain drives in this game. I think they're going to be able to score points on the Bills. So I actually like the matchup for the Rams offense here. So right now you might be thinking, all right, Kyle, based on everything you just said, you think the Rams are going to be able to run the ball. You think Stafford's going to complete a lot of those underneath throws, and they're going to be able to move the football. Why haven't you pulled the trigger on Rams plus 4.5? I'm in the Discord. I don't see any open tickets for you on this game. Why haven't you pulled the trigger on Rams plus 4.5? Well, I will tell you why. This scares the shit out of me here. The Rams play a road game in San Francisco 4 days after this. So after this game against the Bills, one of the biggest games of the season for the Rams is 4 days later. And I hate the shit out of that. So even though I like this matchup for the Rams at home, catching a good number, plus 4.5, even though I like that, I haven't pulled the trigger on it because the spot scares the hell out of me. So my pick for this game is Rams plus 4.5. I would also lean over, but because of the spot, this might end up being a pass for me. I mean, I'll let you know as the week progresses. Obviously, I'll let you know in the live show. But as of right now, it's Rams or pass, over or pass. Now, if you're looking to play a prop, now none of the prop markets are open yet. Maybe Kyren Williams or Colby Parkinson over receptions. I know that sounds crazy. Both of these guys do all of their receiving damage via the short pass. And we just talked about how it's going to be a possible dink and dunk fest. Well, Kyren Williams and Colby Parkinson, all their damage comes via short passes. So maybe Kyren Williams over receptions, Colby Parkinson over receptions. You guys know I'm not a prop guy, but I honestly think that might be worth a look. Maybe Matt Stafford over completions as well. So maybe I'll throw a prop down in this game. But as of right now, Rams are pass, over a pass, or some receptions or completion props. That's how I'm feeling about this game. If you want to see all the bets I currently have open, head over to KyleKirms.com and click on Open Bets. You'll see all mine as well as everyone else on the staff here. Also, when you sign up to Sauce Network Plus, it comes with access to the Discord as well. So if you're interested, head over to the website and sign up. Live shows 4 p.m. Eastern time during the week. See you in the mornings on the weekends. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Let's have a good week. Please remember to bet responsibly. Talk to you in the Discord.